To another Flutter tutorial. In today's episode, we'll learn how to work with text widget. We'll keep working in the same Flutter application as we did in the last couple of videos. So for this video, we'll learn how to work with text widget. Text widget allows you to add a text inside of your app, and then you can customize that text. So if you need to see a list of properties that a widget have, just come over it and hover, and you will see this list of properties. You can see the first property is the string. This is the text that we want to add in our application, and then we have a few properties inside of this curly bracelet. These are called name properties. If you come right here, let's say we want to use the style property, and then you will have to pass the argument. If you hover over it, you will see this. It will take a text style as an argument. So let's use the text style. And then this is also a widget that will allow you to customize your widget. The first property I want to show you is the color. This property will allow you to change the color for your text. So let's use the colors dot, and we have a list of colors. Let's use red. Give it a comma. Always give a comma after a property. When you save, you'll see the text is now red. If you want to see these properties this text style widget will take, you can hover over it and you will see the list of properties. We already used the color, so now let's use the background color. So background color, again I'm using the colors class, and let's use this amber color. Give it a comma, save, and now you have a background color for your text. Let's change the color to have a little bit of contrast. Let's use white color instead, do red, save, and this will auto reload. If you save, you don't see any change, come right here, you click on this. By the way, this auto reload will only work when you are changing your app inside of this build method. If you are outside of this build method and you're doing some changes on your code, you come right here and you use this button to restart your app. So now let's use another property, the font size. Let's say this will take a double as an argument. Let's say 28.0. Give it a comma, save, and now your text is bigger. After that, you have the letter spacing. Let's say now we want the letter space to be 2. Give it a comma, save, and now you have a little bit of space between each letter. Now you can use the font weight. You have right here font weight. If you hover over it, this will be the font weight class. So font weight. You have right here the normal. Remove it, give it a comma, and you will see the options right here. We have bold, normal, and a few other options right here. So let's use the bold. Give it a comma, save, and now your text is bolder. Now let's make this text a little bit more extensive so we can see a few other properties. So let's say this is a very long text from your text widget. Give it a comma, save. Right here. Let's go now outside of this text style. We have here a few other properties for text widget. We saw the data. This is the string that we pass, and then we have the key. This is the identifier for your widget, because when you run your app, Flutter will parse these widgets and create what is called a widget tree, and we need this key to identify any widget inside of your widget tree. So that's why you have this option right here. By default, inside of your construction, you can see right here, we are calling super.key. So we don't need to provide a key. Flutter will do this for us automatically. Now let's see a few other options we have right here. The text alignment, we have the overflow, maxLines, and a few other properties. So let's work with now, after this text style, let's use now the text alignment. This will take a class of text alignment. if you give a dot, you see a few options that we have. We have right here the center. If you save, the text will be centered. And then you have justify, you have end, and start. Let's now use the max line. This will define if you want your text in one single line or more than one line. This is an int value, so let's say we want this in one single line. Save, and you will see that now the text is being cutted. You can change the behavior using the overflow property. So this will take the text overflow, and we have the option right here to clip, which is the default one. If you save, you can see this, nothing will change. You have ellipse. This will add 3 dots right here after the text. And we have another option, which is the fade. If you use the fade, you can see this text is fading a little bit. So let's change now max line to be 2. And now we can use the option which is ellipse. Save it. And nothing changed because this text can fit into lines. But if you change to 1, you can always go to official documentation and search for text widget, and you will see the options that you can use and understand a few properties. One thing I forgot to mention is right here we have this string outside of these curly braces. So this will be called a position property, and all the properties inside of these curly braces are called name properties. That's why we'll see right here we provide the name and then the argument for this property. But in this text we don't have any name for it. We don't have right here the data as we have in these options like background color. So one way to edit text is by hard coding your text as we did in this option. Another way is to use this variable as we have in the title. And a third option is to get your string from a method. So let's use this as an example. Let's return a string now. Underscore for making it private. In Dart programming language, we don't have access modifiers as we do in like C#, as we have public, private, or internal or protected. In Flutter, you have underscore to make it private. So let's call this text method, and then we'll get a string as a parameter. So string message. And then inside of this method, let's return now this string. I'm using string interpolation, so $$ message, and then $, and then a semicolon. And now instead of hard coding this text, let's pass now this method and then just copy this text and replace it right here. Well, now we have to remove this constant because we are getting our text from the method. Save everything, and you can see right here now we're getting our string from this method. So this is how you can work with text widget in Flutter. You can also customize right here your title using this text style right here. So this is it for this video. In the next video, we'll learn how to center this text widget. This is it for this video. If you find it useful, give a like and consider subscribe for more Flutter videos. See you on the next one.